The new Mini, under the guidance of BMW, has been a huge hit. All you have to do is drive around any metropolitan area in Canada and you'll see the Mini cars all over the place. But they had to evolve the brand. They couldn't just stick with one shape and sell it over and over. They've come out with the Countryman, which is a four-door crossover version, the Clubman, the little mini wagon, convertible of course, and now they've made it even sexier. This is called the Mini Cooper S Coupe. Now, recently unveiled in Detroit at the International Auto Show was the Roadster, basically the same goodness that we have here, but the roof goes back in behind the front seats. Now that will be a really sexy car. So basically what Mini has done to make the coupe is what you do with most coupes. You lower the roof, you rake the windshield back a little bit, you make the back window more of an angle. Remember, the regular Mini is kind of square at the back, and you give all that up, and what you sacrifice is basically room on the inside. Now around the back, the thing that's interesting to note is the window out the back mirror is really quite narrow. This roof line comes down and at speed the spoiler comes up. So looking out the back can be a little bit cumbersome. One thing drives me crazy. You need to use this key fob in order to unlock the trunk, which can be a pain in the neck when you're loading things in and out. Now they've taken the car and, as I mentioned, they made the back window a little bit steeper, but the inside and the cargo capacity really is quite useful. It's really quite deep. There's a pass-through into the front seats. There's quite a bit of space in here. What you give up, obviously, is height because the roof is lower, but it still is quite a functional Mini. Okay, one thing before we get going is the fact that your head sits inside the roof. The roof actually comes down lower than the top of your head. Now you can see the bottom of the roof here is right at my eye line. So if you're shorter, it's not a problem. You can see out, it's just okay. For taller people like myself, I'm 6 feet tall, I'm always having to bend down in order to see traffic lights in front of me, and looking out the back window, you have to bend down in order to see more than one car behind you. If you sit normally, you can see the car behind you. If you want to see more, you've got to squint down a little bit farther. And looking out the side windows is not that great either. As I mentioned, it already reminds me of the TT. So that's something to keep in mind if you're a taller driver. Now we're going to get going here. I'm on a road where I can get some speed up. It's a little bit bumpy, so forgive the camera shake. I'm going to accelerate quickly. The wonderful thing is the twin scroll turbocharger here on the Cooper S model. 1.6 liter engine, 184 horsepower, spectacular. Okay, I'm just doing over 100 kilometers an hour now. That was pretty quick. The thing is that this car is not quiet. When you're driving on the highway for extended periods of time, there's quite a bit of tire noise, especially from the back here, echoing through the cargo area and into the cabin. The other thing is this tonneau cover behind me likes to rattle a lot. I've jiggled, I've fiddled with it, but it still rattles. So this is not the most relaxing car if you're going to be on the highway a lot every single day. But all of the Mini goodness, the go-kart-like handling, the fabulous engine, you point it, it goes where it wants to go with absolute ease. It's a blast to drive. It has a sport button here you push and you get even more out of it. You know what? For just sheer fun, this car is spectacular. You have to put up with a few compromises like outward visibility and a little bit of noise, but man, this car just sticks to the road. Whoa. I love it. So what's the cost to get a Mini Coupe? It's about a $2,000 premium to get over the regular cost of a Mini Cooper. This base model starts at $26,000 roughly, and the S that we have here starts around $31,000. Are you willing to pay $2,000 more for a car that has less? No back seat, less cargo capacity, kind of noisy, and limited outward visibility? I would suspect if you're attracted to this car, the answer is absolutely yes, because this is not a rational car in any way. It's a study in fabulous looking design. It's going to turn heads, and the person that's driving this car is going to feel great about themselves. That's what this car is really all about.